Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 9, episode 3, and today we look to continue a fantastic start to the championship season with a big game away to the very reputable West Ham, who have been struggling in the championship for a few seasons now, with the top goal scorers in the league after 6 games and sitting in automatic promotion places, having really found our feet quickly at this level this year. You can see from the player stats screen on the homepage here, both strikers have got 4 goals already in 6 league games. We've got the highest average rating in the league in Adam Lewis, continuing where he left off last year. Won Championship Player of the Year, and this season he got the First Player of the Month award. 4 assists contributed to that. I'm not sure if he scored any goals. I lie, he's got 3. So he's contributed to 7 goals in 6 games. What a fantastic turnout that's been. This man has been absolutely brilliant, and he's now rated 4.5 star, a player that's certainly ready for Premier League football. So if we don't go up this year, he may be with us when we move into our new stadium, but I'm sure it won't be for long, as there'll be big clubs chasing him. Let's look at the other stats to see if anything stands out. Darren Mapley, the playmaker, has the best pass completion in the team. That's what we like to see. He's also picked up a couple of yellow cards, but we don't mind too much about that. The finances look healthy. The promises are all in progress. Johnny Byrne wants to leave at the end of the season. One slightly sad note since the last episode. He came to me and said that he feels he's achieved everything he can at the club. And to be honest, if we get promoted this year, or we're looking to get promoted next season, he's probably not going to cut it. So it will be his last year at the club, and then we'll move him on next summer. But what a fantastic servant he's been, and he's still doing okay in the Carabao Cup. You can also see from the team stats that we've scored the most goals in the league, 17 in 6 games, which is a brilliant turnaround, and we've only conceded 8, which although not among the best in the league, isn't too bad, just over 1 a game. We've only got 3 yellow cards, 2 of those to Mapley, no reds yet, and we're selling out every home game. So plenty of positive news. We're coming up against Yapstam's West Ham, but before that, let's have a look at the recent results and see how we've got to this position. If we go to the schedule, you were with me for that opening day win against Bristol City. We were really good in that one, but didn't really kill the game off. The opposite can be said against Bradford, where we didn't dominate quite as much and went behind after a 15th minute goal from McGrandles, but after that we were absolutely brilliant, clinical with our chances, despite not playing too well. Williams, Broger, Lewis and Brown, all of them getting a goal apiece, and it was good to get a lot of players off the mark and score from 2 set pieces as well. We then got a chance to meet some other new players in the Carabao Cup first round. Frank Hall got a brace on his first start for the club, and Jim Desart on his first start, he got a goal as well. Gerard and Fibrasima came off the bench, and a few of the other new signings were in the team too. The likes of Andy Walsh in goal, and Amika Roby and Adam Dillon playing as part of a back 3. Dillon did really well in that game, despite being a left back naturally, so he may have found a role for him as a backup player. We went away to Millwall in the following league game, refreshed with our first team getting a break, and they won 5-1 in a fantastic performance. McCann got a goal, his first for the club, Broger got a brace, and then the 2 Williams got a goal each as well. A wonderful performance and result for us there, and we followed it up with a narrow 2-1 win at home to Hull, Adam Lewis getting a late winner after Bobby Duncan opened the scoring. Unfortunately though, it was disappointment in back-to-back defeats after that. Firstly, at home in the league against Middlesbrough. We actually played pretty well in this game. We certainly had the better of it. Had about 3 chances for every 2 that Middlesbrough had, but didn't make any clear-cut ones, and Middlesbrough nicked it with 5 to go, despite McCann and Lewis getting a goal each. We then played the reserves again in the Carabao Cup. Young John Gerard back from injury. He got a brace, which was really good to see. Continues to develop well, and he's edging towards 2.5 stars now. He's certainly overtaken McGeever as the 4th choice striker at the club. But unfortunately we conceded 4 goals, Ryan Sessegnon getting a brace, and then Origi coming off the bench to show you the difference in quality and wage structure for the 2 clubs. But we did get back to winning ways against Colchester last time out. Again, like the Bristol City one on the opening day, they got a late consolation, but the result never really looked in doubt. Bobby Duncan getting a brace to seal the 3 points for us. So a really good start. It leaves us up in second place, 3 points clear of Fulham, but we've got a tough game away at West Ham today, who haven't started quite as badly as in recent seasons. We are out of the Carabao Cup, but we're not too worried about that. Remember, the last year before we move into our new stadium, we've got to make sure we're at championship level. A flying start in a league is always important, as in the first 2 years at this level, we've really slid towards the end of the year. You can see our board confidence has taken a slight knock in the Carabao Cup as we were knocked out a round earlier than expected, but obviously Watford are a Premier League team, so the board aren't too unhappy about that, and if we continue to do this well in the Championship, they certainly won't complain. Obviously the dream would be to move into the new stadium and play our first game as a Premier League one, but obviously that's asking a lot this year with a very young team and an inexperienced squad. So we'll see how we get on. Today's obviously going to be an important part of that. If we can turn a good start into a good first half of the season, then you never know what could happen. If we can put enough of a gap between us, then we could focus on hanging on to our key players in January for once and make sure we don't let anyone go till the end of the year. If we keep this squad together all season and don't suffer from too many injuries, then sky could be the limit as long as their confidence stays high. One very small piece of transfer news to inform you of as well. We've got one player coming in January, a young centre-half from Motherwell. Stuart Leach is his name. He's got an 80 scout summary. He's rated 2-star at the moment, but 4.5-star potential. And you can see his attributes are really nicely spread for a centre-half. Decent heading and tackling, positioning and jumping's good, and he's got pace and strength as well, which all bodes pretty well. He's playing for them in the cup competitions, so that should help his development until he gets here, and hopefully he'll be a really good player for us if we give him the right time to develop. A left-footed centre-half, something I don't think we've got at the club at the moment, so he could play on the left-hand side, covering for Reece Williams. The only other slight bit of news, again about a centre-half, is Eustace Bertram, one of the youngsters in last year's youth intake. He's in the under-18s, but he's gone out on loan. Our affiliate club, Truro, really wanted to loan him, so we sent him there and they're paying his wage. So if he can do a good job for them, doesn't look like it by the average rating, but he's starting for them, so he should be doing a job, and hopefully it'll help his development. But let's get into the game against West Ham, see if we can continue this cracking start and just turn it into a good season. We've mentioned Yapstam's in charge for them. They're still slight favourites despite their inconsistent form, but they haven't won in 3 games, and that also bodes well for us. We're at full strength today. The only player who wasn't quite fit is Armando Broja. He's still officially match fit, but 90% condition isn't ideal. He's come back from international duty, where he's obviously a star man for Albania. But it's our first choice 18 aside from that. Alex Bass is in goal. Brown, Chalabar and Williams the back 3. Nico Williams and Adam Lewis the wing backs. Mapley and Lahan in central midfield. And then McCann behind Broja and Duncan up front, which is becoming an increasingly deadly attacking trio. One slight tactical tweak, we've changed McCann back to an advanced playmaker. Despite his slightly poorer passing rating, he wasn't doing too well in that attacking midfield role, so we've moved him back to what we were doing last year, and that was just before the Millwall game, where we scored 5 goals, and we haven't looked back since then. So he's going to stay in that role, and we'll only change it back if things start to go wrong. The bench has got the usual assortment of youngsters on, plenty of the new signings like Hall and Dysart and Obi, and then the youngsters from the youth intakes of the past, such as Richard Quirk and John Gerrard. You can see the 4 there that are missing out on the squad regularly. There may be a chance to let 1 or 2 go in January, but for now we've just got to keep rotating and make sure their development isn't hindered too much. So let's get into the game against West Ham and see if our positive mentality pays dividends. Here we go then, 4-3-3 for West Ham in what's a very empty looking London Olympic Stadium. We're playing our usual 5-3-2 and hopefully it'll work well for us today. We'll encourage the lads to see what they can do and get into the first half, hoping the team talk advised by our assistant manager pays off. It's Gale with the kick-off for West Ham. Ledson to Hodgkins on the left. He finds North, charging at our defence, but it's a good challenge by Nico Williams and McCann can bring the ball away. He finds Armando Broja. He gets it back to McCann. Again, apologies for the voice in the episode 2 days ago. It's slightly recovered today, but still got a bit of rasp to it. But if you did have a bit of trouble with that commentary, I do apologise for it. Hopefully the result made up for that. And now we've just got to make sure we continue that good form today as West Ham come forward early on. Hoskins on the left, a very long first highlight to the match. We never normally see more than 10 or 15 15 seconds, but McCann's put Duncan in, and this may be the reason. Crosses for Broja, and 1 minute on the clock exactly. We put the ball in the back of the net. Armando Broja on the counter, and that deadly trio with the 3 men involved. McCann finds Duncan, Duncan finds Broja. 1-0 at the Olympic Stadium. We couldn't ask for a better start than that. Now Rhys Williams has gone long over the top for Duncan. 5 minutes in now. His cross to the back post. Nico Williams with a second ball in, but it's blocked. Chiravella gets it back to Hoskins, and it's hacked away by West Ham. Only as far as Brown though. He finds Lahan. Out to Nico Williams on the right. Charging at the fullback inside to McCann. Lahan again. Back to Mapley. Mapley, who's been a pass completion rate of 90% all season. Really good start to the year from him. He's coming on leaps and bounds. Long ball forward to Broja. Is headed into the danger zone, but cleared away by West Ham to the edge of the box. Lahan finds Adam Lewis though, and we lead 2-0. What a fantastic finish by Lewis. His 4th of the season, and this has been a dream start at the Olympic Stadium. The voice is starting to go again as we get too excited by 2 early goals. Brilliant start to the game, and the lads are literally taking my voice away. The excitement's fantastic, and the performance is even better. I don't know what the change is this year, but we look a completely different side. It may just be having a little bit of experience, the likes of Shalabar at the back, but it's got to be more than that for this sort of change. Nico Williams on the right into the box. West Ham are at risk of collapsing here. They've only had 1 shot to our 2, but they haven't looked like defending ours well, and every cross has been dangerous. Nico Williams in again. Duncan loses out in the air, but it falls to Lahan. Nico Williams again into Broja, 12 yards out. Back to Williams for a 3rd time, but they managed to get a block on it, and the ball's hoofed away to North on the left. Long ball over the top towards Gale, but Robson Brown deals with it well. It's a throw on the left for West Ham. Hoskins finds Story. They just want to calm it down and play along the back for a minute, but now they're trying to finally create an attack. North charging down the left. He's picked up a knock, but seems to be their danger man so far. Hoskins to Chiravella. Now Garcia. Back out to the left to Hoskins again. That's certainly where most of their attacks have come from, but now it's Garcia in the middle of the pitch. Larson's got room over on the right. Goes for a shot, but it's blocked, and Lahan will clear long to Duncan. He holds it up on the left-hand wing. In towards Broja. Knocks it down again. Nico Williams will get there first. Crosses for Duncan. It's 3. Not even 20 minutes on the clock, and the voice is certainly going now, but that's only because we're annihilating West Ham away from home. What a wonderful performance this has been, and we're starting to look like a really good side that's got more to contribute than a decent start to the season. Harrison with a goal kick for West Ham. They've beaten the press there with Hoskins. North charging down the left-hand side, into the box unopposed. His shot's blocked, and now Chiravella, but a brilliant block again, and it's out for a throw on the West Ham right. 5 minutes to the break and my vocal cords are shot, but I just don't care because we're 3-0 up away at West Ham. Torquay United are top of the championship, and I could not be more pleased with this first half performance. Wonderful stuff indeed, and I'm really looking forward to the second half. As long as we don't concede here. Look how open we are on the far side. Garcia's got there first for West Ham, beats 2 men but puts it over, and we couldn't ask for much more than that. We made 1 slip up at the back, and they've absolutely wasted their chance. There's the confirmation, it is half time. We're 3-0 up away at West Ham. Look at that sea of yellow shirts in the back corner. They must be delighted with what they're seeing. The West Ham fans will probably be leaving already, but what a fantastic first half performance, and maybe they'll just stick around to see us. Let's go and talk to the lads and tell them how brilliant they were. We're really pleased with that performance, and we just want them to keep it going in the second half. We've just passed the hour mark. Nothing's happened in the second half yet. We just saw 5 seconds for the kickoff and that was it. But Chiravella on the edge for West Ham. His shot's blocked and Bassel clear long. Broja flicks it on for Duncan and we're in. The first bit of bad news of the day. That's got to be a red card. Surely, referee. Duncan was through on goal, but it's only a free kick. Adam Lewis will take it. Nico Williams has picked up a knock. It's only a bruise, so I'm figuring it won't get worse. But in a few minutes' time, we'll give him a rest. We're going to bring on Richard Quirk for half an hour of action. So although it's a bit of bad news for Nico Williams, who consistently gets these silly little knocks, it's a chance to give one of our youth intake stars another half an hour of first team football. A brilliant ground for him to get it in, although it's half empty so he won't really experience the atmosphere. 25 minutes to go, we'll give it 5 more minutes and then we'll make another sub or 2. It's another corner for us. Lewis with an outswinger. Elise wins it at the front post. Shouldn't be on the pitch really, but Broja down to Reece Williams. His shot along the ground's brilliant, but it's a good save by the West Ham keeper, and it's behind for yet another outswinging corner. Lewis delivers to the back post. Shalabar beaten to it. It goes over the top and Molyneux challenges him, and he'll clear it away for West Ham. They're just hoofing it away. They're not looking for anyone, and the danger doesn't pass for long. It's Lewis with an attacking throw on the left. Every second half highlight bar that first one's been us, and we're absolutely dominating. Quirk gets in behind, but his shot's deflected over, although maybe it didn't hit the West Ham player, as it's given as a goal kick. We're going to take Ian McCann off and bring John Gerrard on, another youth intake player from 18 months ago. He deserves more football. We're going to drop Bobby Duncan into the number 10 role, and we're also going to take Broja off, who's knackered after his international exploits. Frank Hall will come on for him, although he's been playing for Scotland under 21s as well. Gerrard will switch into the pressing forward role, and we'll get back into the game and see what these lads can do to see out the last 20. It's a throw on the left for West Ham. Hoskins will take it to Watkins. Back to Hoskins and Ledson again. Into Stobbs at the back post, but luckily he's fouled his man. I thought it was a penalty for a minute, and what's worse for West Ham, it's going to be a red card. Second yellow for Stobbs. Must have been a silly foul out of frustration, and the referee sent him off. That'll surely be game over now. Just 90 seconds of stoppage time to go. My voice is absolutely disintegrating. It's been torn to bits by the excitement of this game. Duncan finds Quirk on the right. Cuts it inside. It's a poor pass. It's cleared away, but thankfully it won't matter. Even if West Ham score now, it's a consolation. But we'd love to improve our defensive record and start keeping clean sheets. We've let in 2 stoppage time goals already this year, both in 2-1 victories. And without those, we could have been one of the best defences in the league and be conceding less than 1 a game. Hoskins on the left for West Ham, into Watkins, deflects to Garcia, and just as I said it, we've conceded a silly goal. We keep switching off late on in games, although I guess I'd rather it be when we're 2 or 3 goals ahead. Duncan finds Richard Quirk on the right, just 20 seconds left, and Duncan's coming forward to Lewis. On the edge of the box, a chance to shoot, but it's blocked by the West Ham fullback, and Lewis will take it wide again. Delivers into the box and Hoskins clears, but Mapley recycles it for Quirk. Tries to cross, but it's blocked. Surely the whistle's got to go any second. We've played more than the allotted 4 minutes, and there's not been any stoppages since. Maybe the goal celebration was 15 seconds, but they were just running back to halfway. Lairson on the right hand side. Long ball forward, which is intercepted by Lewis. He comes forward to Duncan. Have we maybe got time for one more? No, we haven't, as the final whistle goes. What a fantastic performance by the lads, and our brilliant start to the season continues. I'm so pleased with the way these lads are playing. You can see the way they came out of the blocks, and we absolutely stunned West Ham, who look like they're in for another season of struggle. Let's go and talk to the lads. Well, tell them how much we appreciate their effort. They played brilliantly, though we've got to start looking at those 90th minute switch-offs. Adam Lewis got man of the match again. Just 1 goal for him today and no more assists. But we were brilliant in every position across the pitch and got more youngsters first team football. I'm absolutely delighted with how this season's going, and I'm really looking forward to the next episode already. Let's go and look and see at what the media have said about the game, and then we'll plan when we'll be back for the next one. Nico Williams picks up a knock, just 1 to 3 days. Richard Quirk's developing well. He's accomplished in his new position of right wing back, and his attributes are developing brilliantly. The first team football's obviously helping, and his personality's good too. Lewis will go and praise off camera in a minute. We've done it after nearly every game this season already. That result for the first time I think leaves us top of the championship. I think we were briefly top after 3 games, but it's the first time this far into a season where we're no longer at the first couple of games. You start looking at the table after 6 or 7 matches, and to see us top of the pile is absolutely brilliant. Thinking about the essentials from the start of the season, we've got to look at that gap to the relegation zone. It's already up to 12 points, and that's a brilliant sign for us this early on. It looks like moving into the new stadium, we've not got to worry about being below the championship. But let's look at the schedule then, as promised. We've got to find a point to come back. Fulham are in 3rd place in the league at the moment. That could be a brilliant one. Who's in 2nd at the moment behind us? It's Cardiff City. We haven't got to play them for a while. That game's over the Christmas period. So providing the league table stays in a similar sort of order, they could well be our next 2 episodes. But the next one will definitely be Fulham, the final game of October. We've got 8 games in the league between now and then, so we'll certainly get a much clearer picture of our season by then. Hopefully we'll still be up in the mix, but if not, as long as we're completely safe, that's all we can ask for this season. It's tempting to get very optimistic when we're top and playing well, but we don't want to overdo it, go and waste money in January and then have a debt when we move into our new ground. We've got to manage this club realistically and make sure they're sustainable for the next 10 years. But if you did enjoy this episode and that performance at the London Stadium, please put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know down in the comments what you think of our season so far, and the 2 performances you've seen on camera, where do you think we're going to finish based on them? Obviously those games have both been away from home, where we've been really convincing this season. We've struggled a little bit more at home, a couple of narrow victories and also a defeat against Middlesbrough. But there's plenty of reason for optimism at this club now. We've got a slightly stronger squad than last year, even if our first 11 isn't any better, and hopefully that stands us in good stead when we get into those busy periods with 2 games a week. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one with Torquay United, and then our Journeyman series, The Head Coach, where we work under a director of football with no say in transfers or contracts. Season 9 of that series started just yesterday, so if you're not up to date with that one, go back and check out yesterday's episode, as we were preparing for a milestone moment in that series. Also, keep an eye on the channel on Fridays over the next couple of months. There's a couple of new other sports games coming out which I'm really looking forward to trying, and we're going to make a bit of content from those 2 games on Fridays on the channel to replace the FIFA series that just finished. So if you are a fan of other sports and do enjoy other sports games, do check them out on Fridays over the coming months. I really do appreciate it. Again, apologies for the voice, as I got more excited and we scored more goals. My voice completely disintegrated, but hopefully it's getting back to full health, and it won't be long before I'm screaming along in a normal pitch again. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate it as always, and we'll see you next time for what I hope will still be a top of the table clash.